It's Friday on the Humongo Nation Tour. Today we're in North Carolina. We're going to visit Progress Energy. We're going to find out if they have a big red button to shut off all the electricity in North Carolina.
And then we're off to see Bob of the Beancast, one of the most listened to marketing podcasts on the internet.
Once again, we're in the wrong building.
We're at Progress Energy.
We're at Progress Energy with Christina and Scott. Could you introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Christina Lalever, and I work in the Corporate Communications Department. I work in the advertising team, and I do advertising and branding for our energy efficiency and renewable programs.
And I'm Scott. I also work in corporate comm. I'm the media relations person, and I deal specifically with environmental issues. So everything from climate change, coal plants, to green power.
A utility company is almost invisible until they're not there. How do you deal with that from a marketing perspective and making yourself more visible and a part of your customers' lives?
Well, we're always trying to use different tools to communicate with our customers. We have an interactive website where our customers can go on and take a customized home energy check. So at the end, they can get recommendations of what they need to do. Is it change their CFL bulbs? Is it, recycle an old appliance and we'll give them $50 to recycle an old fridge? Or do they need to upgrade their insulation? Or do they need to change their thermostat when they leave the house? So we're there to help them with different solutions.
Communication is especially important in the utility business. And as we were talking about, nobody thinks about your utility company until you don't have it. And a couple of things come to mind. Storms, winter storms, thunderstorms, emergencies. How are you using social media to help communicate with your clients?
When it comes to storms, all of a sudden we move from the background to the source of credible information. And what we've realized this year, especially as we dealt with winter storms, was the power's out, but people still have their smartphones, and they have Twitter, and they have Facebook. And instantly, these networks grow up out of nowhere to help each other. Where is coffee available? Where are the roads closed? And so we researched the conversation, we figured out what kind of hashtags were going on, we joined that conversation, and what we saw was that just the mere presence of the utility was a really big factor in changing people's attitudes from just negative, assuming we're not out there doing anything because there's not a truck on their street, to realizing, wow, they're very hard at work. They just may not be on my street, but I can see from the social media conversation that they're elsewhere. When the storm goes away, we kind of retreat a bit. There's no need to continue to engage and be their friend when there's not that crisis going on. And so where we end up is coming back to kind of settling back in the background, continue to engage, but then being ready to step up when eyes are on us.
I understand you're doing something with one of our sponsors, Ford Motor Company.
We're partnering with Ford on testing 2 of their new plug-in hybrid Ford Escape vehicles. There are only 20 of these in the country. They built them essentially by hand in the factory. And what we're doing is we're taking this Ford technology, driving it around the streets, testing to see how it works in normal driving conditions. But not just testing their technology, we're testing our ability to track the vehicle, to see how much power it takes off the grid to recharge. So it's really cool. I've driven the vehicle. It is amazing. It's a fantastic car. It functions just like the Ford Escape. It's silent. You can go for the first 30 miles on electricity alone. So it's truly a unique vehicle.
Scott, Christina, it's great to meet some of the faces behind Progress Energy. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for stopping by.
Krispy Kreme, headquartered in North Carolina. Krispy Kreme, best chain-made donut ever.
Day 5, and we're stopping at Stamey's for some world-famous barbecue.
Today is a fine day for you to come to Stamey's. The barbecue has a fine, excellent, subtle flavor to it. You can actually taste the hickory smoke in it. As well, The barbecue sauce is extra good today. It has that extra nice little kick to it. When you have that bit of barbecue, try a bit of it without the barbecue sauce on it, and then go on and put an awful lot on the rest of it. Anyway, enjoy yourselves. It's very difficult not to in here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Awesome. Ooh, hot.
We're at Sticks and Stones, and we're going to meet Bob Norp from the Beancast.
Meet Bob the Beancast in person. I love that, like we say, we're the greatest agency in the land, that you have no shame in promoting the Beancast, the greatest podcast.
The best podcast anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's really funny. We both made jokes about that at one point or another, because we both have this attitude that it's all about SEO anyway. It's all about search engine optimization and getting those keywords out there, and nobody was owning best podcast anywhere. I'm like, well, what the heck? You know, that'll be mine. So, yeah, you know, it's not about ego. It's about just being smart in terms of your marketing and always looking for those opportunities to own a space.
But at the same
And
time,
speaking of which, I brought my own lower third, so I want to make sure that I get my own lower third here. There we go.
you've got one of the longest, one of, if not the longest running marketing podcast.
Yeah, it's been going for just about 2.5 years almost. You know, I started it because I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time. I wanted to do something that was interesting and giving back to the community. It wasn't just about self-promotion. It was a lot like what you do with Humongo. It was about trying to get out there and talk to smart people and give them a chance to shine. And I would shine as a result of just being associated with them. I mean, that's really the whole philosophy of it. But the bigger part about it was that it starts a conversation, not just among the guests, but also among the listeners. And you know, I'm all about having that conversation be extended in any way possible.
You're about to launch something pretty exciting with Ad Age.
We're going to be doing Ad Age Live, and Ad Age will be a half-hour program that breaks all the stories, the big stories that are going to be released in the magazine on Monday morning. So every Friday morning there's going to be a half-hour program that kind of runs down 3 minutes of the news, and then with the editors and maybe a guest or two, we'll go through the big stories of the week and kind of roundtable it, much like we do on the Beancast.
I understand that that's not the only announcement you have to make.
What are you saying, Daryl? What are you implying? Are you saying that there might be a secret out there that we might want to reveal on the program?
I've heard you've got a secret.
I am Bogus Boguski.
For real?
So for real, absolutely for real. Basically, I started this about a year ago. It was a lot of fun, you know. It's just like I just basically was out there trying to poke fun at the ad industry. The funniest thing was just that so many people thought that I actually worked there, and they assumed because I was so on target with some things, apparently, there's like, you must work here, you must have the, and it's, you know, it just goes to show you that as unique as CPB is, as far as the work they're producing, they're another agency. I mean, the reason that it looks so familiar to them is because all agencies look like this. They all have these dirty little secrets and these crazy little oddities. And yeah, it was blowing it out of proportion and you know, kind of exaggerating. But you know, it was keying in on something that everybody recognized as part of their work experience, and that was why it was so, you know, memorable.
Is there anything that you need or want to say to Alex Boguski?
I'm sorry. I am so very sorry, and I hope that you do not sue me. Please do not sue me. No, seriously, what a tremendous sense of humor. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for what you've given to the industry. Just been a tremendous, exciting force in advertising that has inspired so many people. And yes, you made yourself a tremendous target as well to make fun of because of that, but ultimately I respect everything that you've done, so thank you.
Will Alex Boguski forgive Bob? Bob from the Beancast, thank you so much.
You are welcome, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Courtesy of Green Mountain Coffee.
There you go.
And we've wrapped a great day in North Carolina. We got to meet the people at Progress Energy, where we learned that a social media relationship isn't an always-on relationship. Sometimes it's best to communicate with your customers when they actually need you. Then we met Bob from the Beancast in person, and we learned something very interesting. Bob is actually Bogus Boguski. Will Alex Boguski forgive Bob? We'll find out. For now, the Humongo Nation crew gets a weekend off in Asheville, North Carolina, where we're gonna have a blast at the Bell Share Festival. Until next week, we'll see you later.